We're live.
Welcome back.
Woo!
We've done it.
We're here.
I'm told it's too hot in Calgary right now.
So
Yeah.
hot.
Was today's high 31 or 33? I'm trying to remember if that was today or
Wow.
not.
Holy smokes.
That
I was
sounds
telling
about right.
Paul earlier, I saw like a map of the states with like the temperatures across it, and this is in Fahrenheit, so I can't convert it for you, but it was everywhere was at least in the high 80s, except the Bay Area was at like 65.
Gross.
I'm the only person or the only section not getting affected by the heat right now.
Yeah, today's high was 30, low was 14. Tomorrow, high of 29, low of 13, and with thunderstorm chance. Yeah, the highs are like 29, 28, 30, 31, and then Tuesday they
Oh,
drop.
like the week. Oh, for Tuesday? Okay, good. Thank God.
Up to Tuesday. Tuesday it drops to 25 is the high.
Oh, God damn it. Okay. Yeah, that's better, though.
This
It's also
weekend
got
I'm going
thunderstorms,
down
so.
This weekend, I'm going down to a small town in the middle of California called Solvang, which is like this pretty Dutch inspired town. It's supposed to be like 28 down there, and I'm actually looking forward to some of the heat because it's been like almost chilly around here. It's been like in the teens for the past couple weeks.
I mean, all I gotta do is just come back home, and there'll be plenty of heat for you here.
I guess so.
We'll
Well,
share
I
it
was
with
just
you.
there, and all it did was rain.
Well, because you brought the rain, so also come back so we can actually
I
have the
didn't.
rain.
Yeah.
I didn't bring the rain. Like I don't have rain to bring. There's no rain here. I don't know where I got this rain from. How's your week's been? Anything exciting on either of your end?
No.
Nope.
No? No?
Mother-in-law visits next week, so my availability is gonna be pretty wild for the next little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very unpredictable. So don't be surprised if I'm not on cast next week.
Good to know.
Sure. Makes sense.
Nothing over on your end, Paul?
No. Nope.
Who's, ex- who's excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming out tonight?
I would be if I wasn't only playing the first one right now. So
Is the plan to jump right into 2 when you're done?
I don't know if I got that in me because the first one we're doing is a stream incentive. It's a charity incentive. So I've got to do it all on stream. The second one I would be willing to play off stream, although it only has one save file, which is obnoxious.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is also
And
hard to go from like RPG right into another RPG.
also that, yeah. I don't know. I would. This has definitely gotten me more interested in playing the later games. So we'll see.
Cool.
If you're gonna play them, do you have to play because there's a whole bunch of Xeno games, right? Are they all connected?
Loosely. They're all in. Well, the only ones that are connected for sure, like 100%, are the Xenosaga games on PS2. But there's shared elements between all the Xeno games, basically.
Okay. I don't know if I'd ever get around to it because there's a lot there, but I think I'd probably just kind of start where you started with 1 on the Switch.
One's been a pretty good time so far. The downside of doing it on stream is like, oh man, I could really go for some playing it in downtime. Oh, right, I can't right now because I have to
Right.
save my progress for later. So I've just been doing side quests off stream, which has
Sure.
just been kind of scratching that itch a little bit.
Getting some of like the grinding out of the way is so it's more exciting for on stream.
Yeah, basically. And then we end up trolling anyways by swimming around the ocean for half an hour.
Um, a coworker of mine, actually, Jake Decker, who once guested on the show, he tweeted out because he reviewed the third one for GameSpot. Just kind of a quick summary of the 3, and he's like, if you're looking for story, play the first game. If you're looking for the best combat, play the third game. And if you're looking for anime titties, play the second game.
Take
Oh,
his
I
that
word
mean,
was
for
a
it.
encapsulation.
I've heard there's better things there in the second one than just the anime titty, but I mean, sure. That definitely
Yeah,
out of the
I don't
three
know.
seems to be the most focused on that.
Right on. Cool. Cool. But this weekend will be my first like road trip where I'm taking the Steam Deck as the gaming device of choice, so we'll see how that goes. Should be pretty exciting. But for now, why don't we do the podcast? Top Down Perspective, July 28th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler. Sorry, that happens. Just
Nope.
forget your name sometimes.
All good.
Wow.
Glad you're here. Paul, have you played anything?
No, not really. Nothing I really
Nothing
have
to talk
anything.
about?
No.
Okay.
I
wasn't
mean,
sure if you-
yes, but we have a podcast dedicated to that afterwards.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a good teaser. Anyone who's hanging around, we're going to do our neon white TDP plus after this. If you're a patron, look forward to that shortly. Well, then, John, let's pass the ball to you. I have no idea what this
boy.
game is.
You ain't going very far because I busted out my good old Game Boy Color.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
baby, I played some of the Adventures of Star Saver. Here it is if you're watching the actual
I
video
was going to say,
podcast.
I like
Okay.
this box art.
The
It's
box
pretty
art's
cool.
kind of sick, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Game itself, it's all right.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a platformer sort of pseudo Contra game. Like you're just like a little robot and you're shooting like bullets everywhere. You get a little grappling hook you can shoot to grab onto platforms and give yourself like an extra jump and stuff like that. But like the real problem is that it's stiff. It's very stiff for a Game Boy game. Where like
Well, it looks like you're
jump...
piloting a mech. Maybe that's on purpose?
Well, so no, because you could also get out of the mech too.
Oh.
So the
Oh.
mech is actually your extra hit point. So once you get hit on that, you're just a dude running around with a gun, and you have to try to find a power up to get your new mech back.
Oh, okay.
But when you're in by yourself, you're just a dude carrying a pistol, so your shot rate is like way lower and stuff like that, unless you pick up power ups along the way. You can go through the whole thing as just the dude, but obviously like one hit you die, so it's just way easier in the mech.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't. It's been all right. Like I only played through it. I only did one run because I was just trying to kill some time before I went up for the night, and I was watching something. And I got to level 8 of I believe 9, so I got to the second last stage my first try, and then just it was late, so I figured I'd try it again later. So I'll probably have this beat next time I boot this thing up.
Yeah.
But otherwise, my schedule this week's been really dense, so I have not really gotten anything done. I actually didn't even get a chance to start tonight's TDP Plus game, so I probably won't be on for that.
Okay.
It has been that kind of week and month, so
Sure.
that's all I've been playing.
Is that just like a regular Game Boy Color that you were playing on?
This is a modified one, so it says Game Boy Color Light on it. I don't know if you can probably see that underneath the screen.
Just a bit. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so it is it's a backlit one that someone modded in, so
I
you can
assume
actually
that,
the screen lights up pretty well.
better. Yeah.
Hmm.
You have an analog pocket?
Ordered, but
okay.
so I got just like a bunch of other people. I kind of got robbed on the actual first attempt that they went up. So
Sure.
I got in on the second one, but the second one doesn't ship till probably October or December, that range.
Right.
So I'm waiting. I've been waiting for a while because I've been wanting to use that for streams, but it's gotta wait till they got it in stock. So eventually, but this fills that void until it's done.
Nice. All right. I played a few things, starting with the Horizon 5 Hot Wheels DLC that John was talking about last week.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I played the first Hot Wheels DLC, so the novelty is a little worn territory for me, but it's still good. I'm still enjoying my time with it. My one kind of area of tension or friction, I should say, is so they really want you to like progress through the like classes of cars in order.
Okay.
And in order to do that, you need to earn these medals by doing specific challenges. And the challenges are just like, make sure you get at least 1 star on every single like speed zone or every single drift zone, yada, yada, yada. They want you to do very specific things. And there's only so many events you can take part in. So you're kind of doing like everything that they have available to you, which is like a weird contrast from Horizon 5 proper, which is basically just like, hey, do whatever you want and you'll progress. Whereas this one, I started off doing whatever I wanted and ignoring the stuff that I usually don't enjoy, like the drift zones, for example. And I quickly hit a wall of like, well, if you don't do this drift zone, you're not going to progress, and then you're stuck using only B class cars.
Hmm.
Which is odd. So I finally like, okay, I'll do the specific stuff you're asking, and I've worked my way up to A to S1 now, and so I'm getting cars that I like enjoy using. It is kind of a weird step back going from like I put 2 dozen hours into Forza 5. I had fantastic cars, and then I was forced back to B class cars to start with. That was a little odd. I
That
do
is
also
kind of
get them
interesting.
wanting to like make sure, hey, we want you to use some of these like crappy Hot Wheels cars before you get just like the top tier ones. Like we want
Sure.
you to see kind of the whole scale of it.
Yeah.
But it just was like a weird change of no, you make sure you do this checklist. You can't do whatever you want because there's not enough missions for that. Whereas Horizon 5 proper is there's so many things on this map, just have at it. There's 2 dozen things more than you need to do. You'll progress no matter what.
See, that's weird because I didn't do the checklist. I didn't have the focus on the checklist until I tried to get to S1. Like B to A, I just got. But then
B to A
A, I
was
was
fine.
like, yeah, A, I was
A,
just like,
A to
okay, oh, now I need to like do a high speed zone, and then that's all the
yeah.
remaining points I need.
A to S, I had to specifically focus on it, and now I'm in S, and I'm assuming it's going to be a similar thing because you need so many medals to finish
Yeah.
that one. They go up like exponentially.
I think then it goes
Um,
S2 and then it's X. I think X is the last group.
it sounds right. Yeah, yeah. Also, apparently, like I saw one of the dragons. Like I got the medal for like seeing a dragon, but I didn't personally see it, so I must have just like driven past it
You
really
passed it
fast.
during the tutorial opening.
Oh, did I? I don't even remember
Yeah.
that. Okay.
In the tutorial drive where they're like, this is how you get your B license, they actually make you pass by one dragon.
Oh, I'm just too focused on the driving line. I guess I need to enjoy the surroundings a little bit more.
Yeah, but apparently there's like 3 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm having fun with it. I don't mean to like just complain. It was just kind of more of an odd observation. And it it looks fantastic, obviously, and it's fun just driving around like lava on sideways cars. So that's pretty fun on the magnetized tracks.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, I guess like the newest release here, I play and Microsoft Game Studios only release so far of the year.
Hmm.
And maybe the only one coming out this year, if you don't include Hot Wheels, as Dusk Falls. Um, you might know this as the like motion comic looking
Yeah.
adventure game.
I thought this looked bad. I don't like the look of this at all.
The art style is super divisive online. I'm seeing a lot of people being like, "No, I really like how it looks," and some people being like, "I think it looks terrible." To try and paint kind of a word picture, they've modeled kind of all of the like environments that you're going to be in, unless it's just kind of like a backdrop of like a horizon line or something like that. But if you're in like a building, like a convenience store or whatever, they've modeled all of that in game. Then they have just flat 2D motion comic looking characters interacting, and I will say I feel there's hits and misses to it. First off, because they just transition at like a very slow frame rate almost. Um, it doesn't look, you're not going to see a whole character like walk across the area. You're going to see them kind of like keyframe animate into
Yeah.
like the 4 positions they need to kind of get over there. um I do think though, like from like an emotion and like an expression point on the faces, you get much more than you would have if this was like a Life is Strange game and they were trying to like model this person's anger or whatever like this, because that only gets so far. When you think of like Life is Strange, I'm just using that as kind of like the closest narrative example similarity. um those games look good, but they don't look like The Last of Us when it comes to like the facial animation and whatnot. But because these are pretty much like, they almost look hand drawn or painted, or I can't even tell. They might just be photos that they're applying like a comic book looking filter on top of. Um, you get a lot more expression out of the characters. Um, and there is a lot. Like, part of me was wondering, like, did they really paint this many like frames for the characters to like animate through, or is this just they filmed someone doing this, cut out the few like key differences, and then applied that filter on top of it? Because there's a lot. It would be a lot for an artist to have to go and do. So I'm okay with the art style. It sometimes looks weird. Other times I think it does work. But what I think it really succeeds at is kind of the core gameplay of what it's trying to do. This is a like Telltale style adventure game where you are making decisions. You are making things that are going to pop up and be like, this person's going to remember that. There are going to be paths where you need to decide which way you're going to go, left and right. And then at the end, so there's 6 chapters. At the end of each chapter, they show you the entire flow chart of what you did and how you made your choice compared to the worldwide players, not just your friend group.
I like that. Yeah.
That
should
part's
be in
really
all of
cool
them.
because what's really interesting is like that flow chart is huge and dense.
Sure.
Like
I believe that.
so many little things that you didn't even realize, like, oh wait, that was like a decision because I chose to do that. Like there's so many of them. Like it was pretty impressive to see how many things could have changed and how things would have come back together. So you could have been like, oh, okay, it seems like no matter what happened, they were always going to like, take the car and leave. But several different things could have happened before that. Characters can obviously die off, stuff like that. And I also think that, like, the length was pretty good. It's broken up into episodes. Again, there's 6 of them. Each episode is like 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So it was kind of like watching like a TV show. Definitely from like a narrative standpoint, like it felt like that just because of the, the drama and stuff that was going on. And then the unique feature it has is the Twitch integration or the multiplayer aspect of it.
Okay.
So I wasn't streaming this. I didn't use the Twitch integration, but you can. The way I did play it was just co-op with a friend. So there was just 2 of us. I will say I think this game would get a lot more interesting if there was an odd number of us so we could actually outweigh each other. But every time you get to a decision, you and your teammate get to vote on which outcome they want.
Okay. Yep.
If there's a tie, which for us, there frequently was a tie because it would just be 1 against 1. It'll randomize and go back and pick which one it does. However, we quickly noticed it just goes back and forth. Like if I won the first tie, the second tie, they're going to win.
Right. Okay.
Which that's kind of lame because then you can kind of game that and be like, oh man, well, I know it's going to be whatever you pick because I won the last one.
Yeah.
But if you are playing this on Twitch, you can let the Twitch also join in on those choices. I will say, I think this is a strange game to put that feature in because a lot of the themes in this game are pretty heavy and dark. And if you just have a bunch of like chuckleheads in your Twitch chat, I don't know if that's the great thing to like. Do we want to like figure out if our wife was like cheating on us, or do we want to just have a happy family? Let's let my Twitch chat decide. Stuff like that. So
I mean, that's part of that's like the meta game though, right? You're no longer playing the game to see the story that you want. You're seeing what the mass community that you've cultivated does.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, I could see a lot of streamers are going to enjoy this with their thing. I just thought like the game goes to some dark places for sure. And letting your audience choose what's going to happen definitely seems like a choice, but that is in there. You can do that. You also get the option to override the other participant's choice. Each episode, each person gets 3 overrides. So you can be like, no, I don't care if you win. We're doing what I selected. But what's fun is they can override immediately right back. You have 3 you get to use each episode. So you could burn them all on one. Like you could try and die on that hill.
Yeah.
Or you could save it and bank it for later on. And so that's fun too.
Weird, huh?
If you like, if you like Life is Strange, if you like Telltale adventure games, you like these kind of very narrative, choose your own adventure games, I think this is a really strong one. I think the narrative is pretty enjoyable. I think it lands it pretty well. It does set up for a sequel.
Okay.
Or DLC. I don't know how they're going to position it because this game is technically like, so it's set up into like 6 chapters or 6 episodes, but each chunk of 3 is like its own, not totally self-contained, but they're more contained than the others. So it's almost like there's 2 episodes in here. Each episode is 3 chapters long. I don't know if they want to do like a third chat or a third episode of 3 as DLC or a whole other game. But I would be super for that. I think the characters are pretty enjoyable.
Cool.
And they definitely leave some questions. So that's on Game Pass. Again, that's As Dusk Falls. I think it'd be super fun to play with your friends. So definitely a recommendation from me.
Cool.
Then on the other side of the multiplayer narrative adventures, I'm playing through the Quarry right now.
Oh, okay.
Because the online multiplayer came out, and the online multiplayer is a huge disappointment.
Ooh.
So I obviously come with, when it comes to supermassive games, with a background from the Dark Pictures anthology, where each player is controlling a different character and doing stuff on their own at all times.
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely more probably like if you put Until Dawn some haphazardly together with another person.
So the way this works, and I would say again, this would probably be better if you played with at least 3 people.
Okay.
I'm playing it with 1 other person, so there's 2 of us.
Uh-huh.
They call it the Wolf Pack mode. And the way the Wolf Pack mode works is there's one, I don't know, alpha wolf,
yeah,
if I'm keeping with the metaphor, so which is me. So I'm hosting the game.
Right.
And then I have my buddy in there. My buddy can't do anything except watch me play.
Amazing. Okay.
Whenever there is a quick time event,
yeah,
we both have to do it.
Okay.
What? Or I will lose.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay.
Whenever there's a decision that needs to be made, we both get to select. I select last, so I get to see what they pick first, which I almost don't like because that kind of colors my decision. Maybe there's an accessibility option where I can turn that off, but the way it is by default, they pick first, then I pick. No matter what I say goes because I win ties. Meaning, my friend can only watch. None of his decisions matter, but he has to make sure he's paying attention to the quick time events or I lose.
Yeah, it's like the worst possible way to spectate a game.
Yeah, it is literally like he is watching a movie that he has to hold on to the controller for at all times.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Again, if there was more than just him, like if there was 2 other people, then there could be like an actual like 2 of us voted this way. There we go, you know what I mean? So there could be some sway, but because we've set it up to be like 1 against 1, I win ties.
Yeah.
It's like nonsense. I'm also, and then just for those curious, we're both playing on Xbox. Only I get achievements. So like he gets nothing out of doing this besides just kind of talking about the game with me. It is funny though, when you do set up a Wolfpack mode game, they will take every one of your friends that are currently online and immediately say like, do you want to invite all of them?
Oh man. Okay.
So as soon as I start it up, it's like, oh, I could just invite 6 people who might not even own this game like right now. Just get in here, guys. We're gonna have a big game of 7 with us. Let's do it.
That could be kind of fun.
That would be super fun.
Yeah.
But again, you wouldn't be able to do anything besides watch me play. Well, even like the parts where I'm like exploring around, all you can do is watch me play.
At that point, you're basically just like MST3King this game while somebody plays it and like having some say in what happens, which is kind of neat.
Right. I mean, it would be kind of, it's like I'm streaming it, right? But more people can get in on it's pretty much As Dusk Falls, but without the Twitch integration, but they're just letting my friends list do it. So, yeah, again, if you can get 3 people, that's probably ideal. 2 is just like, why are we even doing this? But we're at least still having fun, just kind of talking about like, yo, this person's totally dead if I pick this one, right? Like, I know how games work.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll probably end up playing it twice so that he can host a game and we can see some of the alternate routes. Like we'll specifically choose the opposite. I will say though, like that game looks nice. Supermassive with their facial capture animation. Some of those characters look really good. Some of them look like they're wearing a skin suit. But the ones that look really good, like Justice Smith, that girl from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, they look great. Really good animation right there. I just wish the multiplayer like made more sense.
Fair enough.
All right. That's all I've played. Let's do some news. Some interesting stuff happened. Like Mario Kart got some more DLC.
Finally. It feels like we've been waiting for this one for a while.
What did it get? Let me take a look here.
The next
New
wave.
8 tracks.
Oh, okay.
It gets added next week, next Thursday, I believe.
Gotcha.
August
Okay.
4th, Wave 2 comes. The specific tracks. So there's 2 cups. I'm assuming it was 2 cups last time.
They're all 2 cups, yeah. So 8 tracks total each time. And look at the track list. This is a pretty solid list.
Yeah. Oh, well, run through them. Which ones are exciting for you?
Waluigi Pinball is the big one. That's one of the ones I have been waiting for. That has been like my hot request. Let me see the
DS,
entire list.
That one. Yep. We'll say Mario Kart DS, one of the best Mario Kart games in my opinion.
Yeah, let's see. Waluigi Pinball, Mario Circuit 3 from SNES, New York Minute from Mario Kart Tour, Calamari Desert from N64. I think it was Sydney, Australia from Tour, Mushroom Gorge from Wii, some Ice Stage I can't remember from GBA,
No Land,
and a new track, which I cannot remember the name of it.
High Sunday.
Sky High Sunday. That's the one.
Oh, that's why there's so much video of it. I'm watching the video right now, and there's so much of Sky High Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's I think they said it's the only one of the new DLC tracks so far that has the anti-gravity stuff, which was the main focus of 8.
This looks neat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's Calamari Desert. Yeah, that's exactly how I remember it. Only, good looking. Mario Kart Circuit 3. Yeah, this is cool. This is very cool.
Again, this if you have the Nintendo Switch Online expansion, you get this for free.
Yep.
If you own the game, obviously.
And there's 4 more waves to go yet, which lead us to the end of 2023. So probably means there's 1 more wave to come out this year, and then the last 3 will probably be in 2023. If I had to wager a guess.
Cool.
I actually don't even remember when the first one dropped.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what's not dropping? The Meta Quest 2's price.
I did see this.
What is up with this?
Yeah.
Meta Quest 2, you guys, if you don't know, that's a VR headset from Meta that came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
As a result, they're increasing the price of it by $100.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to do. So their argument for it is like sourcing the parts has gotten more expensive. So you have this weekend to buy a Quest 2 at the current price of $300 and $400 for the 2 different storage options before they go up $100 each to $400 and $500. However, for a limited time, you'll get a free copy of Beat Saber.
Sure.
I think it's like usually $15 or something.
Something like that.
I mean, I don't have a Quest 2, so I might not be the best one to give buying advice when it comes to the Quest 2. I would say 2 years into this, if you haven't bought one yet, wait for the next one.
At this point, you should definitely wait for the next one, for sure. Yeah.
Like, if you're sitting there being like, maybe I got to get one this weekend, so because I've been maybe thinking about it, like, the third one's got to be like less than a year away or something, right?
The Quest 2, its whole selling point was that it was supposed to be the affordable one.
Totally. Yep. That's
so
why
the fact it's going up $100 is insane.
Yep.
Like, it was like a tough sell at the price that Paul and I each bought ours on. I wouldn't recommend it for $100 more. At that point, if you're going to do it, wait or get one of the nicer models like the Index or something like that.
So looking at this, how do you think this affects Sony's price decision that they were thinking about for the PSVR 2? That math equation must have changed a bit, right? When this news came out?
Maybe. I don't know. The thing with PSVR is you still need a PlayStation for it, though.
Right. but the Quest 2 is is the most popular VR headset, right?
Because it's standalone, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
completely different thing in that regard.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like Sony's looking at the most popular one and its price point, and now that they see that one has increased,
Mm-hmm.
probably makes them have to like a little easier if they're trying to match prices. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they probably
I
just keep whatever they are and just feel better about it.
see the problem is like Sony already put out a headset for like the PS4, so if it's too much higher than the previous one, people are gonna balk about it. So I feel
Mm.
like that's their bigger worry than competing against the Quest.
I don't. Do you guys remember what the PSVR one
I
launched at?
don't.
Was it 400?
300, 400, somewhere in that range.
I think I got mine on sale when it hit around 200. I think.
Yeah.
But the PSVR 2 has so much like more in it because the other one they were using Move controllers. This
Right.
has like actual controllers. This has we're gonna talk about it a little bit later, but it has outward facing cameras. It has pass through. Like there, I would not be surprised if the VR 2 launched at a higher price point than the VR 1. It's a
Mm-hmm.
much more capable product.
PSVR 1 launched at 400 bucks US.
Yeah. That's what I would still guess the PSVR 2 launches at.
That's
'Cause
what I'm
can't see
thinking
them.
too.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they went to 500, that's the same price as a PlayStation 5.
To be fair, I think that 400 was the price of the PS4 at the time.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. I think so. We're talking like getting close to almost like 10 years now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bet. And again, like if the Quest 2 had stayed at 300, I don't know if they would have tried to get closer to that price, or if they would have stayed at their $400 one. Anyway, speaking of PSVR 2, Sony came out with some more details about it. A few more features you can look forward to. As I alluded to earlier, there's going to be a see-through mode where if you press a button in game, or I think double tap one of the buttons on the controller, you can access the cameras that are outward facing, and you can see your surroundings. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, the Quest 2 has this. You can enable it. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has to just be standard, I think, in everything going forward. So that makes sense.
As someone who only has a VR headset that can't do that, not being able to just check my surroundings to make sure I'm not about to hit something, or
Yeah. No, it's huge
something's
for real.
about
Yeah.
to hit me, like that is just like a great safety and like a comfort thing.
For sure. Yeah.
They also pointed out that you will be able to broadcast yourself while playing if you have the PS5's HD camera. You can stream and use that as the camera. The picture they have here, it's not clear if this person's on a green screen or if they're going to do some like background removal thing, kind of like Zoom does. But this looks too clean.
Well,
I bet
I mean,
you will not get.
yeah, this looks like a PNG file on top of a screenshot. Like, yeah, you're right. It's way too clean.
Yeah, so I have to assume this streamer, like I bet they set up the perfect. I doubt this is photoshopped. I bet they set up the perfect scenario.
Yeah,
That's my
like a
guess.
studio. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And they green screened it, and they lit the green screen.
Yeah.
All these things you can't do.
Yep.
Also, who bought that camera? John, did you get the camera?
Yeah, actually.
Wow. What made you buy the camera?
Because I knew it was going to be needed for PlayStation VR.
Okay, so have you used it?
Haha, no.
Okay.
I'm not even sure where it is right now. It's
I
probably in
actually
storage.
just this last week took down the PlayStation VR 1's camera off the top of my TV because I was like, I haven't used this thing in close to 2 years. Why am I keeping this camera set up? Next one, you'll be able to customize your play area. The device will actually scan your room and create like a 3D map of your play space, so it knows what you can and can't walk towards.
Yeah, that's a big improvement. Right now, you can do something similar, but it's kind of like a flat. You have to mark the ground level, and you can like mark off what.
Right, you draw a circle around yourself, right?
Well, you draw like there's like a grid that you put down where on the grid is like safe or whatever, and it'll still recognize when you're getting too close to something that looks like you're gonna hit something, but this is definitely like the evolution of that idea that as seen here.
Yeah. And like you said, this one will also alert you when you are getting past the safe boundary.
Yeah.
And then the last feature that they mentioned is a cinematic mode, which will let you play non-VR games in just like a flat surface. The PSVR 1 has this. I think every headset has this.
Yeah.
People watch movies this way. The interesting thing, however, is it'll let you play these games at 120 hertz. So if like your TV can't support that, this might be a way to get a higher refresh rate version of the game. I don't know if you would want to play a normal game with the headset on. I never wanted to do that with the PSVR 1, but that will be an option.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool. Why not?
You guys think this thing's going to launch this year?
Didn't they say roughly when they thought it was going to launch?
I think yes.
I don't know if they said specifically. I think it was always like assumed, but like with everything getting kind of delayed and no like summertime announcement.
Oh, it wouldn't shock me if it got delayed at this point.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at the
so
same
here's my
time,
guess.
I thought they had a rough range for the release.
You think they hit this year? You think it shows up in like 23?
I think this year.
I think this year, unless there's just another major part shortage, and the news about the Quest makes that a possibility.
Yeah. I'm starting to think maybe spring 23 because we didn't hear anything about it this summer.
We'll share more information soon, including launch date and additional games coming to the platform.
Yeah, we'll know soon enough, I guess. So
I think the only PSVR 2 game that they've announced is that Horizon spin-off one. Annapurna had a live stream game showcase today with some cool looking games. Didn't watch the stream, but there's definitely some stuff I'm excited on here. Thirsty Suitors, they showed some more of that. There's a demo out now on Steam. The Kentucky Route Zero devs have started working on another game, so I'm very excited for that one as well. Outer Wilds is getting current gen ports, which is a free upgrade. On September 15th. Pathless is coming to like everything. Maquette's coming to like everything. Solar Ash is coming to everything. I don't know. Hohokum is coming to Steam, as well as Keita Takahashi has created another game, which was shown here as well. Those were the highlights. I don't know if anything jumped out at you guys, if you followed along in any capacity.
yeah, the Lost While survival horror type thing with dinosaurs. Basically, think you're in Jurassic Park.
Sure. Right on.
Looks awesome.
Annapurna, man, like almost anything that they'll publish has my attention at this point.
They pick some interesting stuff.
Sony also announced some updates coming to PS5. I think it's currently just rolling out to beta, but you're going to be able to make folders, which is pretty interesting, as well as it'll start supporting 14x40 output if your monitor supports that, as opposed to compressing down the 4K. Weird thing about the folders, you can only they're called game lists, to be specific. You can put 100 titles in each one, and you can only have 15. I don't know why you'd need a limit at all.
Yeah, that's weird.
To be fair, I don't think I'll ever have 15 folders.
I mean, 15 folders of 100, that's 1,500 games.
Sure. But maybe some games are in multiple folders because, that you're categorizing them as such. I don't even know if you can do that.
Usually, the consoles don't let you do that.
Okay.
I think the Switch is the only one that lets you do that currently.
Does the Switch have folders?
Yeah, they got it like 2 months ago. We reported on it. Groups, remember?
No.
Okay. Well, it happened like a couple months ago. It's called Groups.
Okay. But yeah, so folders coming to the PS5. Hopefully you were looking forward for that. Probably like the biggest news this week is we got wasn't so much a stealth drop, but we got some GTA 6 news. Kind of within this article from Bloomberg that was talking about like an overhaul to its workplace culture. And it just so happened, here's also a bunch of info about GTA 6.
Oh, I didn't even read this because I was like, yeah, whatever.
So it sounds like over the past year or so, Rockstar Games has internally been working to improve their culture of crunch, their culture of diversity. Um, you know, I don't know if it's confirmed that these have been successful, but that's kind of what the reporting is stating has been going on there. Focusing on the Grand Theft Auto 6 news, they announced for the first time there's going to be a female protagonist in the game. There's going to be multiple. It'll be a pair of leading characters influenced by Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay, cool.
The working title of the game is called Project Americas. Main location is a fictional version of Miami, which isn't that Vice City?
Yep.
No, it's straight up. It says it's Vice City. Yeah.
Interesting.
Along with its surrounding areas, the game will evolve over time, adding new cities. The game world is already large, and there's going to be a focus on having more interior locations than previous GTA games.
Interesting. Okay.
And then just a quick list here of some of the changes happening at Rockstar. This has been since 2018, I guess. They've hired more producers to help avoid overtime crunch, schedule changes, conversion of contractors to full-time employees, removal of abusive employees, new mental health and leave benefits, and staff have now more flexibility with their time.
Good.
I mean, that all sounds great.
Yep.
So I can't imagine Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out for at least 2 years.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think that article also says, 2024 or something.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a 2024 expected date bouncing around somewhere.
I didn't see one off the top of my head, but I believe you. That seems like the earliest I could imagine Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out. Did either of you follow any of this Knights of the Old Republic remake news?
No, I'm trying to read about it right now. So what's going on?
I just heard the basic, which was it's delayed.
Oh.
That is like the short end of it, but it seems like it was kind of delayed out of nowhere, along with like the two creative leads on it being like let go unceremoniously. Let me see if I can get the full rundown here.
Yeah, does the story say why they were let go? Dismissal unexpected.
Bloomberg reported that Aspire Studios, the devs working on the remake, the studio heads told staff that the vertical slice wasn't where they wanted it to be and that the project would be paused.
Okay.
According to reports, Aspire was targeting a late 2022 release date for the remake, but insiders suggest 2025 was a more realistic target.
Whoa.
However, it's now unclear how the project will continue.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Big leap there. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, really.
Spire has been working on the remake of the 2003 Star Wars RPG for the last 3 years before finally announcing the game in September 2021. However, after presenting a demo or vertical slice of the game to its production partners Lucasfilm and Sony, it was followed by employees learning of the development pause and 2 firings.
Yeah,
the firings are the remake's art director Brad Prince and the design director Jason Miner. The latter reportedly said on social media channels that the dismissal was unexpected.
The cynical part of me thinks that what happened is investors said, yeah, but you need to get it up by 2022. They pushed. They said they didn't like what we saw. And then they're like, yeah, we can't do it in that time. And then they were let go.
So the kind of final point it's sitting at is that it has been paused indefinitely. And who knows where this thing will end up.
That's wild, though.
It's a bummer. People were excited for this. A fan favorite, cult classic, if you will. We got some rumors here from Jeff Grubb over at Giant Bomb of a possible Black Panther open world game in development. Titled Project Rainier. It's being developed by a new studio headlined by ex-Monolith Vice President Kevin Stevens and published by EA. Open world single player game where the player becomes the new Black Panther. It is early in development.
Interesting.
Ask you two. after the Avengers game, would you still be interested in a Black Panther game?
Absolutely, because Spider-Man was good, so they could make that good.
Yep. Sure, yeah. I mean, hey, I'm looking forward to Wolverine. Hopefully that's good.
Yep. I definitely want to see more though before I make any calls like that.
Sure. I mean, this is not even confirmed to be real.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Black Panther's popular.
Mhm.
I'm hoping they're just gonna like. I'm sure they're using Spider-Man as the example as opposed to using Avengers as the possible example.
Yeah.
And hopefully they don't put all the weird live service microtransaction stuff that kind of plagued Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh, and people are also mentioning Guardians of the Galaxy, which I totally forgot. Yes,
very
that was
good
quite
too.
good.
Yep.
And small little last story here: Papers, Please is coming to the mobile devices on August 5th.
That madman, he did it. I'm so excited to see this.
Yeah. If you haven't played Papers, Please, you absolutely should. That's a special little, very unique game. This one screenshot of it looks great on the phone. Like,
Yeah,
looks great at home.
that's awesome.
Good for Lucas Pope. Play all of Lucas Pope's games. They're phenomenal.
They're phenomenal. Yep, exactly.
Yep. That's going to do it for news. Let's do some questions. topdownperspective@gmail.com is the email address, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. Or how you can send questions in. Just like Kevin, who asks, what is the optimal ratio of normal enemies to bosses?
Like in a boss fight, or
I don't know. I assumed it was leading to the boss fight.
I like
I don't know
boss
how you get that
rush
ratio.
modes. Like Shadow of the Colossus has the perfect amount for me. The actual answer is that if you need to like level up, if there's a progression, it's however many that you need to like casually get to a point where the next boss is not as bad as it would be normally.
And that is nice. That was one of the things about, what was the recent Bravely Default? Bravely Default 2?
yeah,
Yeah.
the third Bravely Default game.
Enemies would eventually run away from you once you were overpowered, and
That's
then you
cool.
knew, okay, I can take on the final boss or the boss of this area now.
That's a great
So
idea.
that was a nice indicator. I don't know if I could come up with a ratio.
No.
Yeah, because there's so many games I can think of that would have completely different ratios. Like Shadow of the Colossus would be no regular enemies and all bosses.
It would be a 0-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, like a
down for that
Bayonetta
one.
or Ninja Gaiden would be like, I don't know, 4 regular enemies and 1 boss fight at the same time.
Yep.
Like something
And then
like
like
that.
a Muso game would be like 10,000 to 1.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just depends entirely on the genre.
I can't. And then, okay, so could you answer it if it was bosses like in a boss fight that are there to like give you health or whatever? Or is it also dependent on the...
Yeah, but if they're fodder to get you power-ups during a boss fight, then you're probably going to want like 8, but like 2 at a time or 4
Yeah,
at
I
a
was
time.
thinking
Depends
2.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at a time.
I was thinking like like 3 at a time as like a max. Like 3 to deal with. They come out in kind of like a triangle. I don't know.
Oh, sure.
Flying Vs just everywhere.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's an optimal
Yeah,
number
it
here.
depends. It depends on the game you're making, for sure. All right, next question from Christopher. Hi, TDP host. Thanks for the great entertainment. I have a question for you three. After playing a lot of JRPGs, I see a lot of games have similar types or styles of alternate costumes for their character to wear, such as school uniforms and swimsuits. What kind of alternate costumes and outfits do you think are underrepresented or would just like to see more?
Full-blown suits of armor.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Just covering up the character.
Just make them a walking wall.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a great point here. You see like swimsuits in like every single one.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So going the opposite direction is way better. It reminds me, like they can do special effects with some of these too. Resident Evil 4 had Ashley gets a suit of armor bonus costume, and it makes it so that enemies can't pick her up, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
I would love like holiday ones, especially if they come out on a holiday, because like Santa suits would be fun, or Christmas elf, someone's like a snowman or whatever. I think that's always enjoyable.
Yeah, that's good.
This is another one that's used often, but formal wear is usually pretty funny because then you get like your protagonist in like a tuxedo.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, a sharp suit's always nice to see.
Those
So
are good.
that one's fun. Um, I don't know. What if they did just like roller rink, kind of like got like Letterman
Is-
jackets on.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like full neon. Give me like that 80s workout exercise outfit.
That's a good one too. Sure. Yeah. I was thinking more kind of like Archie comics, 60s vibes.
Mm.
What about you, Paul? Anything you'd like?
I like when they do like nods to different cultures and like what that character would look like in like classical Asian attire or Mexican attire or whatever.
Okay.
I like that sort of
Sure.
thing quite a bit.
Good answer.
All right. Dead writes in and says, question for those who remember the gaming landscape of 20 years ago. How was the steady release of distinct Nintendo handhelds, Game Boy Color in 98, Advance in 2001, and DS in 2004, met after a decade of the Game Boy, 1989, being the only Nintendo handheld?
It was hype as fuck. There was ads everywhere for that shit. Game
I
Boy
remember the
Color.
Advance being a big deal. The color was like, it was weird because like, oh, this is only like a small step up. But
Well,
like, now my Game Boy can only play certain one of these games. Like it only plays the black cartridges. I can't play the other ones. Like I bought Game Boy Color games, but I never actually owned a Game Boy Color. So I had to be like, all right, I'll just borrow this one off my friend who has one, or I'll just wait and hope because that there was rumors for the Advance like a year or two into the Color. So
Pokemon Yellow and the yellow Game Boy Color were fucking everywhere. That shit was plastered everywhere. They wanted kids to buy that really bad. Game Boy Advance was a huge deal too. That was one I didn't have, but like the friend in our group that did, everybody would be like looking over their shoulder and like, yeah, that was a big deal.
the DS was weird. I remember it had like a really confusing reaction at first. Everyone was like, why two screens? That's super weird. Like, how's that going to work? Like
Yeah.
people were pretty kind of against the 2DS or the DS at first, and then when it actually got out, they're like, "Oh no, this is actually pretty neat."
It was kind of exciting too because it was riding that high that we had. It's like the Game Boy Advance SP. That thing is so dope. You can close it or whatever. Now this other one you can close too. But like, why do this? There a whole nother screen seems like a waste. Yeah, it was weird, but I definitely agree. I think the Game Boy Advance era was kind of hype actually as a kid.
Yeah, same. I remember like I had to write like a midterm or final exam. I remember like having my money ready, my pre-order done at Walmart, and convincing my parents to drive like the 40 minutes to the closest Walmart to pick up my Game Boy Advance pre-order.
Yeah,
I don't have enough of a memory of this because I would have been too young, and I started with the Game Boy Color, so I didn't have the large gap beforehand.
sure. Yeah,
I mean, I'd have to assume like before the color came out, it was just like you didn't know any better because there hadn't been a series of handhelds yet. There had just been like the one. So you weren't
I
expecting
mean,
so many.
the Game Gear was really the only competition it had, and by
Yeah.
then the
Right.
Game Gear
And
was
that
super
was a
dead.
different thing. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like an evolution, right, of it.
No, but it was more like an explosion because then it was like the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy
Yeah.
what this, the Game Boy that, accessories, the Game Boy camera, and the printer that you could. Yeah, it was just like a bomb went
Oh,
off.
you
And
got
there was
you got to
Game
bring
Boy
it to
shit.
Blockbuster to print it, right?
No, that
No,
was
you
for
could buy a
Pokemon
printer.
Snap.
Yeah,
Oh, that was Pokemon Snap. Okay,
yeah,
right. The SP. That's a great
yeah.
handheld.
Agreed.
More of a micro guy myself, but
Of course.
the SP is also very
Love squinting. Just love it.
good. The Phantom Aegis. This is a continuation of a previous question about magnum opus in video game franchise. You have a perfect game of a genre. You can choose any genre, but it must meet the criteria of what you think the genre requires to be the best of the best.
I'm guessing this doesn't count games that created their own genre, or is that kind of part of it where they were so good at it they created their
That
own?
nothing else is
Well,
compared. Yeah.
I think it could count if you do think it is the best of that genre and nothing that has
Like surpassed it ever. Sure.
surpassed it yet. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So like to start it off, let's just like pick a genre, right? So if you picked like Metroidvania, what are people going to say is the best Metroidvania?
Yeah, I was thinking the same one, but then I was like, I don't want to use that example because it's
Yeah,
named
'cause I'm
after
like, I
two.
can't think of a perfect example of
Because there's 2 games
Metroidvania.
that
Well,
it's named
I was gonna say,
after.
do people? I feel like people typically go with Symphony of the Night.
I was
They
gonna say people
do.
go with Super Metroid.
And Super Metroid. That's the problem. Is that it's 2
Okay.
games.
I would argue Symphony of the Night is not the best Metroidvania. I don't even think it's the best Castlevania.
Oh, I
But
definitely agree. I don't like that game that much.
yeah, it's
Okay,
got
well,
weird control issues that they ironed out in later games.
For sure.
whereas I'm
Okay.
over here and I'm being like, I don't know, Shadow Complex. That's the best Metroidvania.
Shadow Complex is a contender for sure.
A good one, yeah. What about platformer? What do you think is like the
Okay,
quintessential
well,
platformer?
be a little more specific. Like,
Let's go
like
2D for
side-scrolling?
Yeah,
simplicity.
2D. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like
Because I would probably
Mario
say
World?
one of the Marios. I'm just trying
Mario
to think of which
World.
one. Yeah, probably World, right?
World or 3, probably World.
I think
I would
World
give it to
still.
World.
Yeah.
I like 3. I just think it's World. Yeah. Also, kind of hard to also like pick what the best one is when it's like there are for 2D platformers. There are so many of them.
Yeah.
But Mario World kind of stands out just because it made such a big deal when there wasn't so many of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because back then there was only so many side scrollers. Now there's probably a new 2D side scroller every week, and that I just don't even hear about. Right? And
Mhm.
they could be fantastic, but who knows?
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, so I'm even thinking of some of my favorite games. Like, I don't think I would put Burnout Paradise as the magnum opus of racing games anymore, because we saw the remaster was kind of a letdown.
What about
And
open world racing games?
I bet it's
I mean,
one of the
that's
Horizon
Forza.
games now.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I bet it's
Yep.
One of
kind of
Forza
taking
games.
it, right?
Yep, probably.
I think like, Burnout Paradise was like a time and a place thing, but it's from a different era.
Sure. Hmm.
Yeah, it just depends on the genre too. Like my mind was also like, well, what about stealth games? Because that one doesn't have too many entries. That might be easier to lock down. And my mind's like, probably Metal Gear Solid 3.
I
But
mean,
then
are
do
you
you
doing
discount
like?
Splinter Cell, which is more stealth?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, are you discounting like the Dishonored franchise or anything?
Like
Because
it's
like,
hard, yeah. It's super
Yeah.
hard.
and if you're including 2D ones, I think Mark of the Ninja is a fantastic stealth game.
Sure.
Like, it's too many good games.
Yeah, too many. It's a problem. All right. Next question from Hebrew Lantern. What is a game ending you liked better than the true ending?
Ooh.
The one I had pop in my mind the quickest is in Silent Hill 2, there's an in-water ending, which is kind of the, like, bleakest, most depressing ending, but also maybe the most, like, humanly normal ending to what that protagonist goes through. Also, it has one of the best songs on that soundtrack as its theme. So that one I really like, even though it's, like, super dour.
See, it's funny you bring up Silent Hill because that was actually my example for that. But I was
The
going to say
dog?
Silent Hill 3, the UFO ending.
UFO ending.
Because that one rules because you literally just, you get home and instead of like your father being like murdered, you're like, oh shit, all right, well, like stuff's going down Silent Hill. Let's go blow it up. So you literally hop in a UFO, blow up the city, and then you sing a song. And like, I
Silent
think
Hill's
that's absolutely hilarious.
Are so good. They're so good. Yeah.
I don't
Dog
think I
ending
have
from
an
2,
answer
also
for
an
this.
excellent choice.
Yep.
I'm gonna pass. I don't have an answer.
All right. VGC Kenny writes in and says, when it first came out, I believed the ending of Sly 3 to be a cliffhanger ending. However, as I've gotten older, I've come to the conclusion it actually could have been where the series ended. And I didn't quite get the nuance of it at the time, although I assume I wasn't the only one since there was a fourth game that, while fun, did have more of a cliffhanger ending. Please make a new game, dear God. What games have you changed your opinion on, not because the game has aged, but you have? Ocarina of Time and Final Fantasy VII. and Mario 64. Those are the 3 I can think of that I've
Final
changed my
Fantasy
opinion on a
7.
bunch.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
Are you guys saying you like them less or like them more?
I like them more because I didn't like
Yeah.
7 at all when it came out.
7 I loved. Then I had a big long stretch where I hated it, and now I'm back to loving it again. So
Okay, but if it's the remake, you don't like it.
remake it. I like things about it, but I think it's just they bloated it too much. I think it's too much bloat.
I mean, I just kind of mentioned the Burnout Paradise example. I will say I played some Guitar Hero Metallica this last week.
Okay.
And maybe
Yeah.
it's just because I've been playing a lot of like Rock Band, but I just think Guitar Hero games are ugly. The like UI, the gameplay visuals are so much cleaner and crisper. And then at least with Guitar Hero Metallica, it's like, what if we hand wrote every word on this
Oh,
and went
sure.
"Bleh" all the time? And it's like, this is just a lot. Can you just like calm down a bit, please? Rasterman7 writes, what's a series, anime or not, that upon watching it you were like, damn, that's some really good animation right there?
His example is my answer. Arcane.
Okay.
Arcane is very good looking and just good.
I think the last time I like pointed out the animation, maybe like Klaus on Netflix is a Christmas movie that I think has some really good animation. Pixar's always up there, obviously.
What was that movie with? It was Isle of Dogs.
Oh,
The
yeah, sure.
claymation that one.
Yeah.
That one was a good one.
Yep. That was good. You're
I
right.
really like the animation on that one. Yeah.
Isle of Dogs, the claymation. I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if we're not going by the series thing, then like Enter the Spider-Verse is 100% one.
Oh, Isle of Dogs.
Also that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Enter the Spider-Verse is a very good one. Yes. You know what's funny is I own Isle of Dogs, and I totally forgot about it. Yeah. If talking about stop motion, pretty much anything Leica puts out, is just phenomenal. Stop motion, I am just constantly in awe of.
Yeah. Suku writes, let's say your house caught on fire. Thanks for that. Your family and pets have been safely evacuated. Your important documents retrieved. You have enough time to save as much as your arms can carry before the rest is burned. What do you try to save?
Okay, so this is basically like you get to save your fun stuff now because the important stuff is safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably just my PC. Everything else in here could probably burn and be replaced fine. The PC honestly could too. If there was any danger, I would let it burn, but that's probably what it is.
See, I probably wouldn't go for any of my expensive console stuff because those are probably the most easily replaceable. It would be like my DS collection, my Game Boy games that are like, it would be very expensive to replace these old games.
Yeah, they can burn. I don't care about any of that.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if I can answer this. The only thing I can think of is if we're assuming infinite amount of time to get your arms full equivalent out, I pick my pinball table.
Sure. Okay.
You can pick up a pinball table?
I said this is assuming infinite time.
But I would not say a pinball table is an armful.
If you are dedicated and you have enough adrenaline, you'll fucking make it work.
It is a really cool pinball table. I don't disagree.
You shouldn't. I'm just thinking like, I feel like there is a point where the adrenaline and your strength will not be able to pick up an object.
Like if that doesn't count, then I'm just gonna pick like my most expensive games.
Yeah,
that's just it. It's just like, okay, I grab like a backpack. I grab the things I know that are gonna be stupid expensive to replace, that I can either sell to get back most of the rest, or just assume that it'll get covered by insurance, et cetera, and just keep the expensive stuff so I don't have to refill that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have anything that I have like any sentimentality. I remember that we even had a question. Do you find anything like sentimental that you own? Like, no, this could all burn probably, as long as like my cats and stuff, important things that I need to
So your
exist.
important stuff is safe. You
Yeah.
don't have like, because you must have some like old stuff that would be hard to replace. You don't think any of it
no,
would
I
be?
don't give a shit. It's just stuff. Who fucking cares?
I mean, you got it all
Yeah.
displayed nicely. You care a little bit.
I have shelves.
No,
What do you mean
I'm
display
kind of
nicely.
I'm kind of appalled on this. Like if like Bagel and Reese are priority one, and then like
Sure.
out of like sentimental stuff, it might be like, oh cool, like I had this cool shirt I won in a contest or something like that. But like
Oh, yeah.
nothing where I'm
Yeah,
just
there
be
you go.
like, oh god, if I lost this, I would never be able to sleep again. Like nothing like of that.
I'll use my
Like,
answer to help
I got
John
like
get his
baby
pinball
pictures here.
table out, and we're gonna be playing pinball on the lawn.
There we go. No, like I think about it, like I've got like baby pictures here. I've got like grad photos and stuff like that. And I'm just like, all right, cool, that's gone.
Yeah, I don't have any of that even. That's all my parents' house.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything like that. Like, I have some like nice photos of my family, but it's like I'm pretty sure they have like the master copies, so I could get
Right.
those back. The only thing that it would just be like, the only reason I go to my like old games is those would be really hard to replace.
Oh,
That would be
yeah,
my
I guess hard to replace things. This wireless N64 controller, how am I going to place it in punishment?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, because I think those are out of stock again, even.
Jesus.
I saw people complaining about it.
All right.
John, I think you have the last one.
I do. From TC Golden. What is a game that is great as a standalone game, but not great in the franchise it's a part of? I.e., Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Great games by themselves, but not good Call of Duty or Banjo games.
Oh, sure.
I mean, Nuts and Bolts was going to be my answer, 100%.
Nuts and Bolts is the only one of those I like. So, yeah, I agree with that one.
I'm trying to think. Can you guys think of any other examples though? Like Nuts and Bolts, like where they introduce a whole different like genre, basically. How often does that happen?
It's pretty rare.
Okay, I guess Assassin's Creed, they've changed the genre a few times. So
Yeah.
those side-scrolling ones that no one talks about are like pretty good Mark of the Ninja clones. But I wouldn't really call them Assassin's Creed games. But then again, at this point, like what is an Assassin's Creed game besides whatever Ubisoft wants it to be?
Yeah.
I might be able to say Prince of Persia 2008. It's like different enough, keeping the core framework. I don't know that it's pretty similar, but that was a pretty cool one.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like there's a bunch of obvious answers I just can't think of right now.
Anyone here a huge fan of Burnout Crash, that pinball like Burnout
I never played
game?
it, actually.
Never played it either. Yeah, you played it and you said you didn't like it, so I never picked it up.
I don't remember liking it that much, but yeah, I played that on Xbox Live Arcade.
Donkey Kong 64, also not a bad option. Not a bad example.
Okay.
But a lot of people still like that game though, and still think it's good for the franchise. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was
that
gonna
one
say
I would
Mario
almost say
Sunshine, but yeah.
is similar to similar enough because it kind of did just what Mario did, where it took a platformer and then made it a 3D platformer.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Banjo-Kazooie is honestly like the only real example I can think of. I wouldn't even have thought of the Call of Duty one.
Trying to think of other genre change. Final Fantasy Tactics, that's obviously not
Oh, yeah.
like a normal
I mean,
Final
that's well
Fantasy
liked,
game,
though, yeah.
but it's also a great game.
Yeah, sure. That's a good one.
I guess if you're just wanting like, no, I want my turn-based, I want these people to line up in a line and one at a time slash at the air so that this monster gets hurt, then maybe you wouldn't be super happy.
Right.
Yeah, I can't think of any major franchises that have entries that are just considered like but still well-liked games.
I could maybe see like Pokemon Legends, although I want to say like the fan base is pretty happy.
The fan base
with,
likes Legends.
Yeah,
At least they
but I
will
could
after
also,
another couple more games come out.
Yeah, I could see some people being like, well, it's not like my Pokemon that I'm used to, so I'm not happy with it. But I think generally people are pretty stoked.
Yeah.
Usually with Pokemon games, I've noticed like once the next game comes out, people soft or it kind of has like the Zelda loop issue, where it's like once a game or two later comes out, everyone mellows out on the other ones they were hating on in the past. So
Yeah, because they have something new to get upset about. All right, that's going to do it for questions this week. Again, if you would like to send in questions for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
I guess Star Saver.
Neon White. Yeah.
And I'll give mine to As Dusk Falls. Our August TDP Plus game has been decided. That is going to be Klonoa Fantasy something something something. That won by a landslide. So look forward to us playing through that next month. And once again, stay tuned for our Neon White episode, which will be going live shortly. We'll see you guys next week.